Um,
Eh,
so that's it recording. So good afternoon or evening.
Afternoon. It is. Yeah, I suppose it is evening. Half
It is
six.
evening now. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you? It's good to finally
I
like
am
speak to you
absolutely
virtually.
wonderful. Eventually,
Brilliant.
yeah, it's been a bit of a to and fro this with internet going down and
Everything
stuff.
is.
But
Oh, is that all sorted now?
it is all
Like,
sorted.
I just didn't know if like halfway through we just go boom. And it's because you've experienced like a blitz level blackout in terms
I
of
did.
internet.
It was terrible. I managed to get my show done yesterday in record time and recorded for this afternoon. So that's all that will be going on just now, and it should sound fantastic.
Brilliant.
Um, but yeah, would you like to introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about the band?
Yeah. So
You
I'm
can use your
Tye.
last name because that might be quite interesting. Because
The
I was having a try of it earlier, and I think I might have got it.
right. Go on. I tell you what. You haven't got my surname before I do.
Josephowicz.
I'm not gonna say close. I'm not gonna say no. I'll just get straight back into it.
Was that terrible?
I don't. Thing is, I don't even have a metric for it. I can't tell you if it was terrible or not because I butcher it as well. Because as you can
Right.
hear, I'm not Polish.
No.
I'm from Leeds. So the way I've always been told to say it by Polish people. Funnily enough, I didn't learn how to say my own surname properly until I was about 20. No, maybe a bit younger actually. I think I was on a college bus and there was we had a Polish bus driver and no one would speak to him because he just sat like that.
Right.
I think his name was Marius or something. I ended up making quite good friends with him in the end. And every day I got on, he went, Ty. And I was like, Yusufovich. And he's like, very good. So he taught me how to say my own surname when I was like 2 decades old, which is pretty funny. Since then, I've probably butchered it. But yeah, it's like, we all say where I'm from, like my mom and my family all say Yusufovich, which is like a really anglicized and bastardized way of saying it. But it's
Right.
like Yusufovich, I think. But it's a really simple meaning. Like the WICZ or the ICZ is a really common like surname suffix in Polish. It's like
Right.
son or if, on like the end of a like Griffith or Smith or Simpson
Right.
or
Yeah, that's very
desk
interesting.
Deskson or something. It's just a basic name suffix. And then the Joseph bit, really simple actually. It's just like most Polish stuff. You just swap in the Z and the S and the PH and the F. It just means like son of Joseph or son of the land of Joseph, just biblical, which obviously with me is quite ironic, really. But so yeah,
Yes.
I'm Ty Yusufovic. I'm the lead vocalist, lyric writer, frontman, whatever you want to say, for most notably for the Leeds-based metal band Inheritor. And I also play rhythm guitar and sing in the metal band Demoralized, recently reformed after 10 years off. That's a whole other story, though. I also sing in the Crow and Tie project, who listeners of the show might remember from a while ago when you played the
Hmm.
first single, No Guts, No Glamour. And I also write for Devolution magazine, the morning paper, stuff like that. And I've got a silly little show on the Foodie Natty network that's kind of linked with the Devolution magazine where we eat horrible food and wear heavy metal t-shirts. So yeah, that's me pretty much.
Yes, I have. I did take your advice and looked at the link and watched quite a few of them the other day. They're absolutely brilliant. They're so
It's good
funny.
fun. That's just my friend George enabling me once more. Just been a bad. I'm like the bad influence, but I don't know what point. Like, I don't know whether to kind of converge and diverge. Like, where's the Venn diagram of bad things with me? Because it's like there's me doing bad things and people enabling me and giving me a platform. So I don't know which is the worst of two evils these days. But I'm here for the ride anyway. So
Exactly. Just enjoy the wave as it comes. That's what
that's
I'm
it.
doing. I'm just riding the wave of whatever the universe is sending me just now. So, so
That's it.
you had an EP out. Um, you've
A
had a
while
couple of
ago now.
EPs out actually.
Yeah. Well, I'll
2000
stop you
and
there, Kim. It was an EP. I'm going to say an EP and a half baked half, but we'll get into that.
right. Okay. So tell me a bit about it. That was the Chaos Sermons one. Are
Yeah,
we talking
Chaos
about?
Sims
Yeah.
feels like a lifetime ago, and especially in today's digital climate and musical climate where everything's bum 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 so fast paced and ephemeral and algorithmically based. It does feel like a lifetime ago, but yeah, it was June 2023. We'd had a couple of double fact checking me, please
I'm,
do,
I'm
please
fact
do.
checking my own
I'm a
thing
I'm a
just in
I'm
case
a
I've written it down
blithering
wrong.
idiot. I'm a blithering idiot, and I've got like people have like dyslexia and dyscalculia. I think I have like disc calendar, but that's not true. Actually, I've
Right.
got a weirdly good memory. But yes, it was June 2023. We'd had a couple of singles out leading up to it. Namely, This Bleak Bliss had come out previously. We'd done the acoustic version in the winter of 22, so like November. I feel like I'm talking about Civil War. It was the winter of 22, and we had This Bleak Bliss out.
Well, it was
Um,
a bit like that back in 22. We were only just coming out of the lockdown and stuff,
yeah,
so it does
exactly.
feel
It
like a
was a
lifetime
try.
ago.
It was definitely a time of readapting and re-emerging at the same time, and kind of just making it up as we go along. But we continue to do so. But yeah, anyway, so we'd had Wasted Time, Broad Pain out, This Bleak Bliss, a couple of bits leading up to it. Then we dropped the EP, which was really good. It was first ever big solid body of work for Inheritor. We'd had a run of successful singles from like first single came out in 2021, and there was almost like an accidental hiatus, but we won't even get into that. And then we had a really good run in 22, and then in 23 we got the EP out, and then Me Being Me. Um, it's half limited creativity, half ingenuity, I think. Must be because I'm tight-fisted and from Yorkshire, I don't know. But so I was listening to This Bleak Bliss, and there's like in the original version, especially in the last chorus. I mean, you've really got to listen to hear it, but which is one of those cool things because more you listen to music, the more things you pick up on. And we do try and do that in Inheritor. We have
Yes.
like a lot of things laid in there that you wouldn't typically pick up on a first listen. Like you might have your headphones on and go, "There's that little cheeky sub drop they put in there." You'd be like, "Oh, there's a double vocal there," or something like that.
Yeah.
So in This Bleak Bliss, the original version, there's a lot of orchestral stuff in the end. So I thought, right, hold that thought. And then in the acoustic version, in the chorus, we've just got like solitary, singular kind of pedal point on the piano. I thought, right, hold that thought.
It's
Long,
beautiful.
it's lovely, and
It
I
is
can't
all
take
the
credit for a lot of that.
piano, the particularly the with the piano over the top of it is
Yeah, yeah, it's
just turns
lovely.
it into a completely different song, and it's just amazing. I was
Well,
listening to
that's
you
it.
this
Yeah.
afternoon.
So yeah, maybe May I listened. I thought, right, I want to do a piano version, and now I want to do an orchestral version as well as the originally acoustic. And do you know what? Just to capitalize on it and get my money's worth, and in case people want to listen to something nice but don't want to hear me whining on, which I completely understand. Also, if that's the case, why are you listening to this? Bit weird, bit masochistic, but so I just thought I'd chuck the instrumental of the piano on there as well, which is really good actually and quite serendipitous because we played a wedding in Glastonbury the other week, and one of the guests was like, "Oh, I'm going to get my niece to try and learn it on piano." I was like, "Well, if you go to track 5 on the EP, I'm not singing, so she'll be able to learn it better." So
Oh,
happy accident.
fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I always joke on stage. I say like, if you like this song, there's an EP dedicated to versions of this. Let's hear it for limited creativity, and it is that. But just as much as it's that, it's giving people a little bit of a view inside of our musicality and our scope, I suppose, in some ways.
Hmm.
And we're getting to the soppy territory now. So it's a well known fact, and I'm completely open about this stuff. And I make some of the most horrendous jokes going because that's just me. But I originally wrote this Bleak Bliss lyrically. It's about me losing my grandma, who was like my best friend.
Oh,
She had a massive
sorry to
hand
hear
in.
that.
Sorry,
But that's a
why,
beautiful
Kim?
tribute.
Did you do it, Kim?
I did. I snuck down
Right.
to Yorkshire and did it. I do apologise.
Well, thanks for
Such a nice
apologising.
tribute for her as well to have such a
Yeah,
beautiful song
yeah,
dedicated.
to have a massive breakdown about me threatening to tear the skyline down. But no, if I am going to try and be serious for more than like 10 seconds, obviously I'm. I'd like to think I'm a pretty fortuitous and strong-willed person. I never really let anything get me down. Everything just pisses me off. To be fair, I don't ever get like upset, depressed, or anything. I just get annoyed,
Yeah,
and irascible. So when it happened, obviously it was a big shock, and I was like, "Whoa!" I just got back from my first ever download. I was on the biggest high of my life, like ever, best weekend I've ever had. Some of like the best people around me. I was like, "Woo!" I was like, beyond cloud nine, not clown nine. And then like a couple of hours later, just was crashing down because my grandma's died, and I lived with her at the time. But like I say, she wasn't like this little old lady or anything. She was only like in her early 60s, and
right.
we were like best mates. Like we'd swear at each other. She'd listen to Papa Roach whilst ironing. Um,
Nice.
I took her to well, I say I took her. We took her to Poland um, in the March before she died, and she died in the June. So pretty soon before she passed. And I've got videos of us like sat in the hotel lobby waiting for a transfer. and she's got my headphones on. She's like that, and she's singing "Wait and Bleed" really loud by Slipknot.
Oh,
And
amazing.
my auntie's there, and she's just like, "Oh my god!" Like she's loving it because it's funny, but she's also like doing that thing of my nephew's embarrassing, my mum's embarrassing me, and she's like, you can tell she's loving it, but it's also like there's an old lady singing Slipknot. So yeah, anyway,
I just think
she was a
that's the coolest thing ever.
well, this is it. It's like I always say, like, oh, this is
I'll still be singing Slipknot and Papa Roach and all the other songs in my nursing home. I'll be raging.
well, the funny thing is now I always think stuff like that. It's like people say, I'll still be listening to this when I'm really old. It's like Corey's not 20. So it's
No,
like there shouldn't be any judgment with that because like look at the guys in Metallica, they're pushing pension age, so it's like
I
why not?
know.
Yeah, and all
And they're
like the
still
big de
making music and stuff. So,
exactly. I mean, Lars is still playing questionably, but we love him.
yeah,
Like and all the big death metal guys from like the Tampa scene in like uh, the early '90s are like all pushing like late '40s and '50s now. You've got guys that age growling. So, but yeah, so
amazing.
basically, I wrote that song about that happening to me, and the I think I'm very. I use this with a lowercase p. I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own ass. I'm very philosophical with stuff as well. I was trying to see the deeper subtext with things. So yeah, I did it as like a reflection on like the grief and mourning process and everything, and I tried to reflect it in the vocals and the lyrics. Like I can't, I'm going to absolutely show how ignorant I am. I think it's the 7 stages of grief, isn't it? Maybe 8 or 9. I can't
Something like
remember.
that. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, so
seven
they
or
just subbed
five or
the
there's
just
so
sub
many.
10 the just sub 10 stages of grief, we'll call it. So I
Right.
wanted to try kind of get that in the song. So that's why like 1 minute is a happy line, then there's an angry line, then there's a sad line. It's like, but when you're mourning, it's like I'm sad now. Oh, I'm at peace with it now. Oh, reaching realization now. I'm cool now. It's like one day you might be angry. 2 seconds later, you might
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, it's a happy memory, I feel great and elated," and then next minute, it might be right. I want to tear the skyline down.
I
So yeah, I
think
tried to
that's
kind of get that organic and
yeah.
natural process in the song, in terms of vocal delivery and the lyrical content. And then yeah, she absolutely loved piano. Did my grandma? She loved any kind of piano music. She always had a go at me for never learning to play the piano. And like I was like, I can sing and I can kind of sing and scream, and I play guitar to an okay, standard. What do you want from me, woman? But so I just thought I'll do the piano version, especially for that reason. She loved orchestra as well. Like she loved, classical music. So I've kind of got everything, all the boxes ticked. Um, Especially the piano version now, the original reprise with my vocals on it. That's actually tied. Well, we'll see when the Demoralized album's out, but that's tied with Wasted Time, Borrowed Pain now for my favorite personal vocal like tracking experience and performance of all time. So yeah, I
Mm.
can't remember how we got onto that, but yeah, that's the Bleak Bliss EP in a nutshell, basically.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's such a nice thing to do. Your stats are pretty high. I've been looking on all the stuff, and it's you're doing pretty well.
Inconsistent, but yeah, but that's just again, I try not to read too much into it because that's kind of just the way it is these days, digitally being
I do the
abandoned.
same.
I know a couple of my friends are going to be like, no, Ty, no, we've had this argument, this conversation, but I will die on that hill. I don't care. So it's like 1 minute you might play like in front of, you might just land a lucky support gig or play a really lucky headliner. You might be playing in front of like 300 people. It might go amazing. And then next week you might post a picture that gets 2 likes. And
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
I
But
know how social media works as well. It's a tough game.
I think it's a lot of like robotic favoritism and just kind of getting the right thing at the right time. And I ain't got the patience for it. This is what social
I
media managers are for. So
I see. I do all mine myself, so I post at the wrong times. They're always telling me I'm posting at the wrong times, and you're not getting
I just
enough
don't.
engagement. And
I
I
just don't
just ignore it.
post.
If I concern myself with how many likes I'm getting and how many, I'll drive myself crazy. So I tend to stay away from the back end of that.
Well, for
So we're
example,
talking
it's like,
about gigs there.
yeah.
Just to rein it back in because I'm just aware that
Well,
we only have a
I'll just
certain amount
jump
of
in. I'll
time.
just jump in with my funny little thing I was going to say then, because
Okay.
I think it's worth something. So it's like now you're interviewing Tobias from Ghost 1 week, you're talking to this idiot the next. It swings and roundabouts, and just
It swings and roundabouts. I'm interviewing King Kraken tomorrow as well, so
awesome, awesome.
it's going to be
Friends of
a nice night.
I think King Kraken are friends of Devolution, so you probably see some of my cohorts and writing colleagues there. So yeah,
Yes, I'm looking forward to going down. Yeah, so gigs. I see that you're playing very, very soon in a couple of weeks, isn't it? In July. Where have I got
Yeah,
that written
is
down?
this Shadowfest? Is it the 19th? Jamie, don't kill me. Is this the 19th? I think it's the 19th, isn't
Yeah, I
it?
think
Yeah.
so. I thought I'd written it down, but I don't know where I put it.
I can tell you
Can't see
really
it on my
quickly
piece
because
of paper.
it'll be on our Spotify straight away because I'm a
19th
yeah,
Underground in Bradford.
I'm gonna say I'm a smart boy and I link the gigs to the Spotify because again it's the rule of two clicks in it.
You
People want
have.
everything instantly. So yeah,
That's
you need to get
fantastic.
all the information there as soon like people want the most expedient things possible these days. So maybe I am listening to the algorithmic stuff, I don't know. But yeah, Shadowfest in Bradford. Can't wait for that one.
It sounds like a great gig. I wish I was closer and I'd be able to come down and see you. I'll maybe have to come down for a weekend one time.
We can live stream it to you.
Oh, that would be amazing. I could then
I could
live
sort that
stream it
out,
to the
yeah.
station.
I could sort that out.
Stream it to the. Oh, that would be awesome. Then we could live stream it through
Yeah,
the
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll
Facebook
set that up.
page.
I've got enough.
Oh,
I mean, Jamie and Jess and Elliot are gonna hate me for saying this, but I've got enough favoritism and nepotism going on in the Shadowfest camp now. I said it. I don't care. It's like I put in the original post because I'd already started the lineup for Shadowfest, and then we were trying to figure out like the logistics of getting Inheritor on as well. And then when it happened, we were like the surprise late edition act. I just put in the Facebook post we have like badgered, pestered, and cyberbullied our way onto the bill because yeah. But no, it's gonna be
fantastic.
it's awesome. The Shadowfest guys are great. We've played a couple of shows for them now around Bradford. It's like it takes it back to like pre-COVID for me. Like the gigs are really lively. Everyone's just out to have a good time. And we recently played a Shadowfest gig called Jamie Fest at the beginning of April, in which, well, let's just say Jamie's got a couple of favourite bands. Hi, Jamie, if you're listening and watching. And one of those bands is us. She's actually got our logo tattooed on her leg, which I can't
Oh,
get over that.
amazing.
Like my girlfriend Katie's got a guillotine tattooed on her arm here, and it's got "Drop the Guillotine," which is the breakdown line of "Wasted Time, Borrowed Pain." So that's amazing. And then Jamie's gone and got a tattoo on her leg, so it's like I'm finally starting to matter. But yeah, so let's just say Jamie's got a couple of favourite bands. One of them might be Inheritor, one might be Motionless in White, and she got what she wanted for her birthday because somebody was dressed up in full Chris Motionless makeup and wig included, and played a half an hour Motionless in White tribute set under the moniker of Motionless in Tye. And all night I got called Wish Motionless. And it was going pretty well. And there was some timing issues with the backing tracks and that because the entire set was a bit rushed. So there's a couple of videos I won't post from it just out of like want to preserve my own ego. And there were a couple of months like, Chris gets up there, he hits some pretty decent notes. And he has that Breaking Benjamin and Disturbed thing of getting those high notes and roasting them nice with a bit of like vocal fry.
Yeah.
And I've started to become pretty good at that in the past few years, if I say so myself. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get to flex and do that. I'm doing that, and my voice is cracking because I'm swallowing the wig. So yeah, it was an interesting
Oh,
one. But we won't be dressing up for Shadowfest in July, but it will be an amazing show. So if anyone's in the West Yorkshire area, Bradford, Leeds, Halifax, York, wherever, get down to Shadowfest. There's loads of great bands on. Some of them we've played with before that really bring a party, and yeah, it's almost like a who. I think personally, it's like a who's who and a greatest hits of who's representing kind of hard rock and metal in the area at the minute.
yeah, because there is a couple of other gigs that you're doing after that. You've got a few shows coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, we've got quite a few. There's like a few little festivals here and there and all dayers that we're doing. It's we're finally getting like the little micro festival summer that bands get. But yeah, we'll be in Burnley as well, which again, kind of our area, not too far. We'll be in Burnley in September. That's Regain Fest, and that's for a really good cause. Shout out to all the guys at KR Promotions. And that's another absolute like stacked bill that I'm just really thrilled to be a part of, and I can't wait to play.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds amazing. It sounds like you are definitely on the track up the way. I did watch the little short film that you did as well for Southwest Heavy Fest.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
the
really
Southwest
good.
one. Yeah, it's awesome. Again,
Yeah, the last year's.
that's another really cool thing that we were just right place, right time, or please the right people or scratch the right parts of people's brains musically. So yeah, that funnily enough, that wedding we played the other week in Glastonbury, that was through Southwest Heavy Fest. So Yeah, that film. It's that film's done by a guy called Simon. Shout out to Chalky down in. I don't know where you live, Simon. Give me your address. The Somerset. They're all in Somerset. They're all inside a country, and they're not as far south as Cornwall and Devon. That's all I know. Or I can't remember. Geography's not my strong point, even though I drive around the country shouting at people. So yeah, we were just on the bill. Like they have bands from all over the country playing down there. They've had some really good names. They've had like they have like two festivals a year. They do one called a winter warm up, which is like a smaller version of Southwest Heavy Fest. I don't even drink, and I would not want to say that after two
No.
kombuchas or waters. So yeah, Southwest Heavy Fest, and they organise it every year. They do a winter warm up in February. They've had bands like Burner at that, Fetal Juice, or, all these lovely titles. Um, I think Osaya were there when we did. They were headlining the night we were there. They've had like the Infernal Sea. They have a really good mix like hardcore black metal, modern metal, melodic death metal, the lot. Um, so yeah, we were just playing the bill as another band, and we went down and played last year for them on the Sunday. Yeah, the Sunday. Yeah, because we were playing Leeds the Friday, drove down the Saturday, played the Sunday. Yeah, we just got chatting. Me and Max and Charlie, the two guys that run it, we became like fast friends. We had a laugh for the time we were there that day, and obviously we had to drive all the way back up to Yorkshire after that. And then Simon, who does all the videography, who filmed everything, me and Simon, like, we just clicked instantly. Like, we like all the same bands. We're into all the same weird, messed up films. So yeah, I noticed he was doing some really cool videography. So I reached out to him before the show, and I was like, "Look, mate, I'm really looking forward to getting shot by you." And he's like, "Oh, it's nice that a band member's reached out, kind of thing." I try and do that. I try and speak to everybody, and if anyone's going to give me the time in anywhere, like an interview or playing us on the show or mentioning us in an online magazine, I want to like thank them, virtually or in person. I don't just want to like share the post. That I want to say, look, I do appreciate this. So yeah, me and
Yeah, it's
Simon got
about give and
chatting.
take, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's networking, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like narcissism is clicked and networking, getting where you want to be, and then being nice to people's ticked off as well. So no losses whatsoever. So yeah, me and Simon became good friends online. He's done some amazing videos of us from the festival and that. I'm actually hopefully going to be working with him on a music video for Demoralized coming up, which will be really, really fun. I can't wait to do that. And then, yeah, so Max from Southwest Heavy Fest, this was like last May. October, he just sends me a voice note on Facebook like, hi, Tye Inheritor, want to play my wedding reception. I'm getting secretly married to my fiance in New York, and then we're having a honeymoon. This is in October last year. Yeah, wedding isn't till May. So yeah, but the Southwest Heavy Fest thing's amazing. Like they raise so much money for cancer charities down in their area and stuff. They really give back to the community. So I'm really, really pleased and honoured that we've been a part of that, and like we've got this continued like friendship and relationship with them. It's great.
What month is that in?
Uh,
The
it's
the Heavy
usually
Fest?
it's usually around the beginning of May, I think. Like as
Right.
it stands now, but they've
Or
got an Instagram
maybe
and everything. So yeah, if you ever like just search Southwest Heavy Fest, people need to know information.
it's
It's pretty
it's
easy to
maybe an
find.
idea to when I start traveling a little bit further south when I go to gigs. I usually
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go in
yeah.
Scotland, but when I start heading south of the border, because I'm now thinking that's a good excuse for a weekend away.
Well, if you have like a long weekend or like a week in Cornwall or Somerset or Devon, you can stop off along the way or on the way home. So
Well,
and it's
exactly. I've
it's
got people to visit now in all these little places,
there
so
we
I could
go,
do a little tour.
there we go.
So, where
Well,
do you think is the favorite place that you've played so far? What's
that
been your
wedding
favorite?
that wedding was pretty good the other week. There's a really cool there's a really cool venue in Whitchurch called Percy's, which is decorated to the nines. There's like I don't know if they're taxidermied or if they're just fake, but there's like tigers in like glass tanks backstage and like motorbikes. And, like you walk in, it's like a post-apocalyptic comic book. When you walk in, it's great. It's Percy's. Um, it's hard to say really. I love them all for different reasons. Like back in 2018, 19, when the first incarnation of Inheritor kind of was started. I mean, that's ancient history since, but
Hmm.
we were playing at the Key Club in Leeds a lot, which is a pretty prestigious venue around Leeds. And I still think, I mean, people are going to hate me for saying this. I don't care. Like the back of the t-shirts say, cancel this for the mucker. I'm not. The lead scene for me is a little bit hit and miss at the minute. It has been for a year or so now. But before COVID, I was like, whoa, it was great. But yeah, we've headlined the Key Club. That was amazing, and we headlined the Wardrobe in Leeds as well, which is just under, like next to the BBC studio, the radio one in Leeds, which is really really cool as well. So they've been great. And then to be honest, I always go back to when I was 16, with my lads in Demoralised. Do you want to shout hi, Annie? That's Annie, my drummer from
Hi.
Demoralised. He's all blurred. He's blurred the background, so you've just got his
Yes,
arm
he
like
has, so we
waving.
can't see him, but I can just see a little bit of a shadow. Hello, how are you doing?
How you doing, Annie? You all right? You good? Yeah, he's giving you a thumbs up. Your time will
Brilliant.
come for interviews. Don't worry. We just ain't got any
Yes,
we ain't got any
yes.
material out yet, so just let the gobshite do it all. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this or not.
It's okay,
Kim,
I've
but
got the amazing ability to edit out swearing, so it's
beep.
cool. I'm thinking this
Um,
might be my new side hustle.
I'd
A
say
band,
so.
a
Audio editing.
promoter that I have asked me very nicely to make a clean copy of this fantastic new band's track. And so that might be my new side hustle, is
I'd say
cleaning up
so.
tracks for bands
Yeah.
for really cheap.
Well, you've got the radio experience, so you'd be trusted. Because at the end of the day, if you play it on your head, be it, so the band know that it all falls on you,
Exactly, exactly.
and we're not credited with a lot of should we say intelligence and responsibility as musicians. So, but yeah. Anyway, back on track. Because
Sorry.
I'm a nightmare. No, no, it's me. I'm a nightmare at
Oh,
going on
me too.
tangents.
Me too. The
So
ADHD kicks
I'm
in and
gonna
I'm
say
away.
undiagnosed before anyone says anything in the comments. Um, highly suspected, never proved. So when we were 16, the demoralised lads, I think it was on like a fourth or fifth gig, wasn't it, Annie? Because we'd done like two or three at school, and then like two or three at a local venue in our town, which is a farming town. Then we played a venue in Leeds, and it was through a big competition that they used to run for Martin House called Centre Stage. And don't ask us how. I think we were the only like heavy band at the time to get through. We ended up playing the final in front of like 1,000, 2,000 odd people, 16 years old,
Wow.
proper green and wet behind the ears, and we just went on stage and we just had the time of our lives and absolutely destroyed it. So that's always been a highlight. And the funny thing is, like, we finished with a really big anthemic metal song that we've got. I call it arena metal.
Cool.
That is the lead single for the album we're doing. So it must have had some staying power. So yeah,
Yeah, well, I
that was an
can't wait
amazing show.
to hear all the new stuff that you're involved in. So tell me
It's
about
gonna be
some of the
great.
other bands that you're involved in. You mentioned Demoralised, which you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
your um co-band member with you.
There's a lot of
Um,
history with all of it. To be fair, like it all
have you
just
been
comes
doing
from.
these for, well, you mentioned being on stage at 16, so you've been doing it a while then, a few years.
Yeah, like, I think I could be considered a veteran. I'm not sure. I'm 27 now, so I've been doing it long enough. Yeah, so I started playing on stage. There was a point where I'd played more gigs than I've seen. That's since changed by like hundreds. 'Cause obviously when
Yeah,
you're a teenager, you don't get to as many gigs when you're in a little farming town. Like there's only a couple like your favorite American metalcore bands coming through Leeds every few years.
of
Um,
course.
so yeah, well, funnily enough, this kind of links into everything. The first ever time playing on stage was it was almost like I always call it band camp because it kind of was like band camp. There was like this, we call it a workshop, I suppose, in our hometown in Otley, just outside of Leeds in West Yorkshire. And me and the lead guitar player, one of my best friends from Demoralised, Harris, we just did this band camp thing over the summer. And funnily enough, Mick from Crone Time, Mick's probably going to hate me for saying this. He was like one of the I'll use like Friday the 13th lingo for him. He was one of the camp counselors or like the mentors, and he was like, "Watson is this metal guy. He's had like album reviews in Metal Hammer. He's played on stage here. He's got an album." We're all just like thinking Mick is this rock god. We're all like 13, 14 years old. Then fast forward like 15 years, I've just released a Chrome Tie single with Mick. So crazy world. So
Yeah.
yeah, just we played on stage that night. Me and Harris. You rehearsed for like think it was like Monday to Friday you rehearsed, and then you went home on the Friday, and then you came back in, and there's a venue over the road from the studio in Otley where we used to do all our headline shows, and you play a gig there, and it's just like it's literally just like kids doing a summer workshop. Then I get on stage, me and Harris start shredding, power chording in the way, and I'm there going whoa, 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 like that at like 13 years old. We played a few like acoustic Bullet for My Valentine songs just to get into people's good graces, and then we played a few originals. And then after that, I'd never experienced a buzz like that. And I was like, right, this is me. I'm doing this forever. Did it for another two
Mm.
or 3 years, which feels like decades when you're at school. Demoralized kind of disbanded. We just all parted ways. As you do in life, you go on to like university, college, jobs, whatever. But we had like massive highs playing the O2 and stuff like that. We headlined the same venue where we cut our teeth.
Hmm.
Played like a sold out show there. We booked a metal show in a farm in town. I don't think a lot of people can really.
That's
I
like
know
crazy.
you get
That's immense.
I know you get a lot of hardcore gigs and like punk gigs because they'll just play in a public toilet and they'll still get like 300 people there. So fair play to them. But yeah, we did it. We booked it ourselves. We were like 16, 17 years old. A lot of us had just gone into sixth form, so we'd just come out of school essentially. And then yeah, like I say, you just kind of part ways, don't you? And then I didn't really do anything for years and years. I did a couple of like little appearances and bits and bats here and there, nothing to shout about. Demoralized did like a little three-piece thing like a year or two after we disbanded, but again, it was just kind of like little charity gigs here and there. And then my good friend and well, let's just say my longtime friend and permanent victim, Jack, the original drummer from Inheritor. Me and Jack don't play together in Inheritor anymore, but we still love each other a bits and hate each
Hmm.
other as well. He's like my annoying little brother, and I'm like this horrible older brother that he inherited for no reason. No pun intended with the word inherit. Um, so yeah, my mate Jack was playing in this like grunge rock band around Leeds, and they were doing pretty well. They'd won the competition that Demoralised didn't win a few years before, and they played Leeds Fest and that. Got some recording done, and then their lineup got a bit shaky. So he gave me a ring one night. He's like, "Yeah, can you cover a gig in like a week? Can you learn 8 songs?" I was like, I've not done anything like 4 or 5 years, but yeah, why not? So long story short, I jumped on stage with that band. That band then later on, we just played shows all over the UK. We had a really good time. Released a bit of music. It was never truly my thing, but I was just happy to be doing it again. I met loads of friends that I wouldn't know otherwise. And then that band went on to become Inheritor. We like rebranded over lockdown, became Inheritor in like 2021. And then yeah, so that's the Inheritor story basically. And then just lineup changes, politics, stuff like that, and then just consistently
Yeah, the
releasing
normal
music.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, you know what it's like. But consistently releasing music, playing gigs, a little bit of airplay, plenty of like interviews and stuff. So it's gone really well so far as the Inheritor stuff. And then um, in the end of 2023 or whenever it was, because I'd stayed friends with all the guys in Demoralized. Like me and Annie, like we used to go like climbing together and stuff. We'd go see bands together. Not nearly as much. You know what it's like when you get like into adulthood. Not nearly as much as you should, but you kind of keep in touch, but not really. As,
Yeah,
especially when we
people
live
have
like,
lives,
yeah, of course they do.
things move on, but you always
Yeah,
keep your core mates, don't you?
yeah, exactly. And thing is, especially me and Annie, because me and Annie have been friends since like year two of primary school. He came over from India and like obviously
Right.
started joining in like schools over here, and then he ended up at our primary school in our small town. So me and Annie have been best mates like ever since primary school, really. James, the bass player in Demoralised, me and him have known each other since we were like 4. We've always lived in the same town. So yeah, I'd see James every now and then. We'd go to gigs with together. We'd go see each other, but not nearly as much as we should have done. Same with me and Annie. We live like 3 miles apart. Like he lives in like a village just outside of my town. And you just don't bother seeing each other. Harris kind of moved away and did his own thing in Manchester for a little bit. We'd still chat online and that. Everyone kept up with the Inheritor stuff and was really supportive of my musical career and pursuits, we'll say. And then James ends up saying, "Oh, I'm getting married," and his wife, Mai turns around and she's like, "I want Demoralised to play the wedding," and we're all just like, "This is insane." I've barely picked up a guitar in 10 years. I've noodled here and there. I've written a few riffs for
Yeah.
the Inheritor songs, but nothing serious. Um, so yeah, basically last January we get back in a practice room together. Oh, we all met up. It's the first time we've been together in over a decade. So we all met up and had like a bit of a refresher night. Harris brought the acoustic. We're all singing like Bullet for My Valentine songs, acoustic stuff like that. Just having a good night. Like video games on, a couple of well, we're all teetotal, so a couple of drinks. Um, and yeah, it was like nothing had changed. So yeah, we were together all night that night. We're like, right, let's go, let's do it. So then we're in the studio rehearsing for the wedding. The wedding was in March last year, and yeah,
We've
then
got
basically
about 5 minutes, so
that's fine. We
we
can wrap
can
this up.
continue on another one and I can
Yeah,
edit them
yeah.
together.
Whatever you want to
Uh,
do, Kim. I'm happy to do anything. But yeah,
yeah.
I'll wrap this saga up and we can get on to something else if you want. So
Yeah.
yeah, we play the wedding in March, and then my James is the then wife of a few hours. She comes up, she goes, right, what's happening then? Is Demoralised back together or what? And we all just looked at each other. And I think was it a couple of weeks before, and then we'd done the listening party at yours. So we had like when we were in school, we had like two albums and a bit's worth of material because Harris just used to write riffs like a machine, and I'd come up with
Hmm.
concepts like a machine and song titles and stuff. So we had loads of stuff left over. We did a listening party at Annie's one night leading up to the wedding because we had like 6 weeks or whatever to rehearse the set for the wedding. and we had to listen to all the old material from school, and some of it we forgot it even existed, and we all were on the same page with which songs were still really good and held up, and which ones kind of just needed to go in the bin, or like
Yeah.
what I titled the song scrapyard, where we kind of took bits from. Yes, best long story short, we play the wedding. We agreed to do the album. That was a year ago, and we're in June now. We've been in the studio since January, but we've been writing like it's about 80% written, and we've got about 5 or 6 songs recorded. So I'm very excited.
I
It's
look
it's it's
forward
very
to hearing it.
refreshing. It's thing is now I've got the knowledge I've like kind of gained and the skills I've gained with all the inheritor stuff is playing in nicely with this. So it's just one of those
Hmm.
things where it's there's no better time to do it. We're all really invested and we're loving it, and it's keeping me busy and out of trouble amidst the Crohn's Eye stuff and the inheritor stuff. So yeah,
Exactly. You're a busy man.
I don't know if I'm busy or if I've just got a very very poor attention span.
I think my friends all call me very busy because I constantly do something. Everything I do is radio organized. Whether I
Yeah,
look on Facebook, it's like I look on Facebook and it's like, oh, that'll be good for the radio. Everything I do has radio ties to it, so I
yeah, I
get
do
it.
stuff like that.
But they all say that I work too hard, but I've just proven that I can do 2 shows in a day and a half. So
Yeah, it's not working too hard, is it? It's just consistent output.
it
I
was
always say,
working smarter rather than
yeah,
harder. Do
exactly,
you want to give
exactly.
me some socials and then
Yeah,
I'll
of
send you
course I will. Yeah,
another.
I'll try and do it in the streamlined chaos that is my brain. So yeah, the socials for the inheritor stuff, just inheritor noise, all is one word on Instagram. You can find the link tree in the bio there. We're on it's all caps usually on whatever's on. So or search any of the song names if you know any of the song names. It's easy. I'm not going to give everybody the full link in 2025. You don't need to do that. The
No.
demoralized one, if you want to follow that, we're not really doing much at the minute. We're kind of just rekindling the fire. We're going to do a big, obviously, campaign and post loads of content when the album's coming out because there's some really exciting stuff like that. That's just demoralized official. Or if anyone gets me on Instagram, nice guy Tye 666, everything's in my bio. You can find it all through there. And then the Crone Tye stuff is just mine and Mick's name, just Crone Tye. So yeah, you can find all that pretty easily. Right, should we split this and do another one if you want to
Yes.
keep going? Yep,
Right.
that's cool.
I will.
I won't touch
It'll
anything.
take a minute for it to process, so it'll take me a few minutes to get back to you, but I'll send you another Zoom and we can
Awesome.
continue chatting because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
that's fine.
enjoying listening to it. It's great fun and it's a good laugh.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. 100% Kim.
Right, I'll go and stop this and I'll send you another one in a minute.
No, what is?
Right, I'll see you in a minute. Thank
Yep,
you.
sound. A cross posting thing.
I've just put the recording on, so yeah, it's cross-posting. It's a nightmare trying to get everything synced up. I generally have to do everything individually, and it drives me
Yeah.
nuts. And I can't
It's
tag people because every time I try and tag anybody, Instagram says I'm spamming people, and
that's
Facebook
weird.
has done it as well, and they've taken posts down. So that's why I encourage everybody to kind of keep an eye on my posts because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I'm going to try again in a different fashion. Somebody said that there's an easier way to do it, but I haven't figured it out yet.
It's just rife with bugs and glitches. I think the thing is as well that's annoying me at the minute is every time I put a story up either like on my account or any other account, and you go to tag the account, and it like you do your at, you put the handle in, and it underlines, and you go off it, and the underline goes. So
I know it's.
I keep having to say it on my friends when I see it in the story. I'm like, there's a button that on the side that says add mention now. So, but I'm always sat there like it's like to Zuckerberg or whoever it is, instead of adding like a fail safe button or something that you can go back and
Yeah,
retroactively change it. Just fix the initial feature. But anyway, we're not here to talk about
we're not here to talk
the
about
rise and fall of social
meta
media
exactly. Now,
minutiae. So
um, the next single. What's the next single you're bringing out? Have you just brought that out? Remind me,
I've
or
just done
is
this
that coming
single.
out?
There's so many like it's like the Marvel universe. Not that I'm a big Marvel fan really, but it's like the Marvel universe now. There's so many timelines and universes crossing with
Yeah,
me.
of course.
I'll do a thing though. Where there'll be like a bit of a barrenness or a dearth of like creativity, and then it's just everything starts going like that. But it's just the way it is, isn't it?
I
So yeah,
I feel you.
just
I'm a bit
done.
like that. I panic. The ADHD kicks in, and then everything just you get hyper focused, and then it is done in
As
a day and a half.
yeah, as George from Foodie Night UK and Devolution says, Neuro spicy. That's what he calls it.
Neuro
Which
spicy.
first time I said it, I
Well,
was like, I like that. Yeah, neuro spicy.
neuro
So he's
spicy.
always
I
got
was
chilies and hot
diagnosed
sauce on the
with,
brain.
yeah, I was diagnosed with dyslexia at 26. I went through my school and they took me out of classes to teach me how to write and everything, but didn't realize I was dyslexic till I went to college and was like, hey, wait a minute here. Nobody listened to me at
There's
school. Will
yeah,
you
there's
listen?
something not right. Yeah, there's something else going on here that's causing
Yeah,
things to be how they are. It's not just lack of attention or
exactly.
effort.
And
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
just
lot of that
waiting
these
for my
days, isn't there?
actual ADHD diagnosis. That's been about 2 years so far.
I'm not even going to start. I already know, like I've always said to people, they say, have you got like, I go, right, all I'll say to you is there's something there that shouldn't be, or there's something that should be there that isn't, but I'm functional, so that's all that matters. But yeah,
Well,
in terms of singles, so me and Mick have just put out the first Chrome Tie release
yeah,
last
I
month.
played that the other week
You
on
did, you did.
Undiscovered.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I think it was like mid-April or something that song came out. So it's been out about a month and a bit now. Yeah, the reception's been great on that. Loads of press attention, loads of interviews in written form. Obviously, radio play from people like yourselves. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, so the
Keep
next
sending fantastic music and I'll keep playing it.
stop it. But yeah, so yeah, me and Mick sent me a few more demos to get working on. So when I've got 5 minutes, I'll sit and see what we can get with that. But I know Mick's really keen for it, and I am to get a bit of a visual thing going that as well because we're both massive film fans. We
Of
kind of want to
course.
merge like the industrial grittiness of like 90s Manson and Nine Inch Nails and Ministry with like the kind of Sunset Strip Miami kind of it's kind of synthwave aesthetic, like films like Drive and stuff like that, but also bringing like some technical Dario Argento weirdness. So it's basically just two guys nerding out about alternative culture and horror films is essentially what I'm
That
trying to
sounds like
say.
right up my street. I love
Yeah.
horror. I love weirdness. I love anything that the normies don't like.
Yeah, yeah. So that's me and Mick in a nutshell. Yeah, like we were talking about like the dichotomy of things, and I've always kind of looked at things like that anyway, which is what inspired the first Crown Tie single. So it's basically like you've got a film like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, or a film like Angst, which is like these really grisly,
Oh
like
yeah.
based in realism, like serial killer flicks. And then you'll have something like I said, Drive, which is very nice to look at and cinematographically like aesthetically pleasing, like with like hot pinks and like matte black cars and that. So we're kind of mixing those two things together. Like people love glitz and glamour, people love guts and gory shit. So it's like no matter what we're well, it's like I say in the lyrics of the song, we're all vampires vicariously. We're all sat in front of a TV screen, whether it's a royal wedding or a plane crash. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep channeling that kind of aesthetic and thought process, I think. And then in terms of demoralized stuff, which is there's not really any kind of time limit on that. There's no label pressure, there's no management pressure. We're just completely independent, going at our own pace. We want to get it out soon, just because we want family and friends and fans of old to hear it, and we want to have it out there. And I really want, not taking anything away from any of my other projects or my friends or band members, but like these three guys I'm in Demoralized with, they've been my best friends since I was like 4, 7, and 11. We've all known
Hmm.
each other since school. We literally grew up together. So to have that music out there with like my three best friends, I can't ask for anything like that. If I never did anything after that, I've got that and I'd be satisfied. As like a body of work to look back on. So that's going to be great. We're going to do. I mean, the lads aren't really going to care. Like I said, there's not really any kind of chronicled way we're going about this of unfurling everything, but just know we're working very hard. We've got loads to do. We're very excited for it. We're going to do a run of singles and then probably drop the album. And it is going to be absolutely amazing because I listen to it as a fan. Like I forget that it's us and it's like, yeah. And it's still only in, like, we've not got mixes and masters or anything back yet because
Hmm.
we're recording everything or as much as we can. And I mean, I'm sure he's not going to mind me name dropping it, but Chris Clancy, who mixed the last two Machine Head albums, used to be the vocalist from Mutiny Within, just work with little people like the likes of Colin Richardson and, toured with great bands like Arch Enemy. Just name drop Chris Clancy in there. He's mixing the album for us. He's excited to get working on it. We are as well. and then it's been produced and mastered by the same team who are basically have for the Inheritor stuff. So yep, that's Demoralized. It will just know it'll be with you soon if anyone's waiting. I know there are a couple of people like, have you got anything yet? Yes, we have. You're not hearing it. Go away. Shut up. Wait until Christmas like good kids do. Um,
Well,
and
it's
then
a
the
nice
Inheritor
Christmas
stuff.
present.
Yeah, it is. It might be. To be honest, there'll be some stuff out by winter time. I would hesitate to say the album will be done and ready by winter time because we're doing all sorts with it. Like, we've got some
Of
acoustic
course.
stuff we're working at. It's very much there's quite a bit of a Tye and Inheritor ethos going on as well with it, but we've got a bit of a more varied. I don't know if that's fair to say because the Inheritor sound is pretty varied, but Inheritor's like its own thing as well. But you can
Hmm.
hear that this Demoralized album, you can hear that it's four guys that grew up listening to all these bands and loving the culture and the music. Because like a lot of the songs, like straight up like 2000s metalcore, but like with a thrashy and a groovy and an American edge to it. There's like it's like if Bullet for My Valentine and Lamb of God had a kid in some bits, and then it'll be like As I Lay Dying, terrible acts, Sans in terrible acts, notwithstanding. Tim's fallen off it a bit recently. You've got like the melodies of All That Remains in there, the hooks of Kill Switch Engage, and then there's a couple of songs where we just go like full Parkway Drive, like Aussie arena metal, and then we go like full Behemoth and Satyricon with like catchy black metal stuff mixed with like the likes of It Dies Today or something like that. So yeah, there's all sorts going on that album. So yeah, it's going to be great. And then Inheritor stuff. There's two songs in the works currently that I'm very excited about. One of them is the next one that's coming up. I'm calling it the Cursed Song because it's just cursed. No matter what, it always finds a way to technically or musically glitch us out. But we're getting there.
Right.
We're getting there with it. So yeah, there will be new Inherit music coming soon enough. And after that, we've got another song that our guitar player Tom's been writing that I'm very excited about. It's very Inheritor, but it's also completely new as well. It's like it's a nice um it's brought the two kind of eras together, and it's going to be Tom and Will's first few releases with the band, which obviously I'm really excited to just get those lads on record and
Mm.
get them out there and get some music with them recorded because they've been in the band more than long enough now. They've been playing amazing shows with us. They deserve it. So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Is nothing's coming out at the minute, but I've got loads up here, so just hang on.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah,
It's getting it from the head into the
yeah.
fingers and
It's
getting it
just
all done.
all
If you're anything like
technicalities
me,
and
it's very much a all go or stop.
yeah. Yeah, it can be like that at times. I try to, it's a good thing to be fair, doing the Demoralized album because no matter what, I've always got like to chip away at a little bit.
Right.
Um, it's like doing a paint by numbers kind of thing. Like every time I've got 5-10 minutes spare, I can just go and do a little bit. I can work on one of the B sides that we're going to put on it. I can go and have a listen back to some guitar takes Harris did, and I can be like, is that tight enough? Like there's such a body of work and a decent because it's an album's worth of songs. There's plenty I can get
Mm.
into with that in terms of like focusing and writing or whatever it may be. There's plenty of stuff to fill my time and make sure I'm not getting in trouble when I'm not writing or reading.
Yeah, what do you do when you're not writing, reading, or performing at all these
Just
different things?
stand in a
Do
dark
you
room and
get time
shout
for
at walls.
downtime? Do
I
you
don't
ever
I don't
get downtime?
I don't like downtime. I get bored after like 20 seconds. And then when I get bored, I become a bit of an ass. So
Right,
I've got to always be
right.
doing. I've got like again. I keep saying everything's half baked, but I think that's just because of how thin attention spans and the time you've got to spend on certain activities and interests, like how thin that time gets spread. So maybe it's not me. Maybe it's everyone else in the world's problem. I don't know. I've got a little bit of an interest in fitness. Like me and Harris from Inherit Demoralize will go to the gym every now and then. Nowhere near as much as I probably should. I used to be really into martial arts back in the day. I wanted to be a cage fighter when I
Oh,
was
nice.
when I was 13 to about 17. That was kind of like my backup plan if shouting at people and playing metal riffs wasn't ever going to work out. So yeah, I still do a little bit of that every now and then. I used to do the lot. I loved it all. I used to do like submission, grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, sambo, God knows how many different types of like Indo-Chinese kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing, traditional Irish bare knuckle boxing. I basically got like super nerdy about it, and I wanted to learn like every style. Um, yeah, it's always served me well, and I'm still here breathing, so it can't be a bad
Yeah.
thing. And I make sure I'm like, I think with the nature of a lot of my work as well, because I'm self-employed. I'm basically just like a glorified labourer essentially. I do like
I
a lot
was a
of
way to ask that. Do you get time
yeah.
to have a what I get called a real job?
I just have to
I
work
get
everything
into trouble
around
by my son now. I spent years giving my son in trouble for not getting a real job, and now it's come all the way
full
back, and he's like,
circle.
"Why don't you
Yeah,
just get a real job, mum?" And then you would have money, and it's like because I do this as a real job, I just don't get paid for it.
exactly.
I'm working on that. It's
I'm
all a
just looking
process.
I'm just looking in awe and trying not to absolutely break out in hysterics because for some reason Annie's just dropped this on the desk next to me and I'm not
Oh,
going to start crunching and maybe I will have one. I don't want to start
oh,
crunching
that
stuff
looks
on
good.
camera.
What have you got? It
I'm
looked
not
like
even
some.
sure. I'm going to move that
It
way. So
looked
it's
like
like
some garlic pate on
yeah,
a piece
something
of
like
bread.
that. I'm trying to see if it's Indian or not because he'll bring me just random Indian snacks sometimes and I love all stuff like that. He's brought me some water now as well. This isn't good. I'm going to do what Ty usually does now. Hang on. And make a risque joke. And the white guy's sat here and the Indian guy's bringing him stuff. This doesn't look good. I'm not trying to go for any kind of colonial allegories here, and you're not helping me. But anyway, cheers, mate. Thanks for that. This is how singers should be treated, right? I carry enough
Yes,
stuff to the
this is
drip.
how radio broadcasters. I need a maid to bring me food all the time, and
Like
to clean
like
my
a
house and do all the things
like
I don't
that,
have time for. Yes.
like a senator, Roman senator version of Alan Partridge, just like
Yeah,
that.
somebody to feed me grapes while I'm working, make me cups of
Oh
tea.
god. But yeah, no, I do. I have a normal job, yeah. Otherwise, I would literally be living on the streets. Because believe it or not,
Yes.
heavy metal doesn't pay that much these days when you're at the level we're at.
No, it really doesn't. That's something that we can talk about because I use Spotify, but I
Yeah,
have a big grudge against Spotify because they don't pay people.
no, it's a love-hate
But
relationship.
everybody uses Spotify, so I need Spotify to check people's stuff.
Yeah,
And it kind of is a bugbear. I don't know. I mean, it's really a bugbear that you put so much hard work into everything, and there doesn't seem to be the money behind it. But these companies are making millions off of the back of
yeah.
all this music that they wouldn't make any money if people didn't produce great music.
Well,
So why
this is the
can't they?
thing,
Why can't it filter down?
because you don't get your head office in the Cayman Islands if you treat people right.
Well, this is the problem. This is the problem.
Yeah,
I have
no,
a friend that
100%.
thinks that I should block email. Thinks that I spend too much time doing this. But what he doesn't understand is I have to do it all individually by myself because I have control issues with the
Yeah, yeah,
ADHD.
yeah,
It's my baby and I can't hand
yeah.
over
You
anything
just
to
want everything
anybody
to have
else and I
the,
answer.
the, the due
Yeah,
diligence and make sure everything's been,
yeah.
all the
And
I's
I
have been
answer
dotted. And
every email personally, every message I get, I answer personally. And he's like,
I, tr
just send block emails.
I try as much as I can to do that with like every musical avenue and thing that I do because it's just like we were saying in the prior interview as well with the like that feeling of genuine and authentic networking and that and it's just decent to know that people are giving you the time and you're giving the time back.
Exactly.
Like I say in a fast-paced algorithmic world where everything's just kind of constantly, it's here 1 minute and gone the next. But yeah, so I do have my gripes with Spotify. It's a necessary evil, but I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. I use it. I've used it for years. I love the
Mm,
fact that anyone can go on and listen to my music as soon as I want. I've got the history of music in my hand. Essentially,
exactly.
if
That's
it's
what
not
I
on
love about it.
Spotify, if it's not on Spotify, it's on YouTube. You know what I mean? So
Well, I'm finding a lot of bands that I'm finding don't have things on YouTube and Spotify. They use Bandcamp, which
yeah, yeah.
you can't really, I don't know how to link to Bandcamp yet.
I think it's just if you just I think it's just the same as any other link. You just like drag and drop it, but it's not
Yeah.
interlinked with a lot of things in Bandcamp. I don't think. Like I think you can link your Bandcamp with stuff. Like we've got our Bandcamp on our link tree and vice versa. But
Yeah.
obviously like your Instagram and your Facebook can be connected, literally connected, not just like links shared and like the rerouting present on the actual page itself. But yeah, with Bandcamp, I think it's kind of one on its own because it's more independent. I mean, it
It
does.
is.
You're there for an MP3 download, aren't you? Essentially, which isn't streaming; it's downloading, isn't it? It's like how
Mm.
iTunes used to be. But yeah, I'm a CD man at heart. I love my CDs and that, but Do I go out and buy them regularly? No, so I'm not going to sit here and say I do. And yeah, Spotify isn't financially and fiscally as rewarding as I'd like it to be. But this day and age, am I just happy to get my music out there into the world at the few clicks of my fingers and not have to worry about like distributing and stuff? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am.
It,
But
yeah,
like you said, the flip side of that is, I mean, but then again, I've heard people say like nobody made money on when record sales were a thing either on CDs. So
right.
realistically, apparently the already drying well just dried up a little bit more. So I don't know. But again, this is me talking from a 2020s perspective. So I wasn't there, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago in the industry. And I'm not really in the industry now because I'm still pretty independent. But, you learn things, you pick them up as you like in the hinterlands of like actual successful musicians.
Yes, I agree. You pick up hints and tips everywhere you go.
Yeah.
One thing I will ask, did you get, are you making clean copies of all your tracks? Because I'm finding this is, and I'm getting, I had a promoter yesterday send me a song. He was like, please help. I need some advice. I don't know how to edit the swearing out of this song, but it's great. I was like, send it to me. I'll do it.
There you
And
go. That's
it
that's
might
your
be my new side hustle
it's your
of
business
cleaning
model that you were
up.
talking about.
Yeah, cleaning up. Swearing in maybe a five or a CD or
A
something.
five or an expletive. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You want to get on with all the like the hardcore and the grindcore bands. You just be able to like just put a virtual Tipex smear through all of the lyric sheet and just charge like you could do a thing where like you can do like hourly or daily rates.
Yeah.
Now you can tell I'm coming from like a
That's all right. This is
you know,
the business ideas that I need
a
because
working
I'm
class
useless at
background.
that
Yeah,
side.
you could do it hourly or you could do it daily. So the daily rate equivalent for you would be like if it's a grindcore or a hardcore song, you just bleat the song and just charge a wholesale price. Otherwise, it's like a five or a swear word. So you probably get like a
Yeah.
little bit of money out of the metalcore bands doing that. And then
Yeah.
every time a rapper like uses kind of misogynistic adjacent language or talks about drugs, you can get a bit of money out of them as well.
Exactly.
Speaking of
Maybe
which, it's funny when I do that, it's censoring my water.
it does. It censors the water.
Yeah.
I
On
think
the
it's just the
subject
way
of
that
which,
the background's blurred.
I hope so. Otherwise, the camera knows
I
something I
have
don't.
banners to go in the back of me when I get my studio finished.
That'll
I
be
have a little
ace.
room in the back of my house that was a coal bunker or something back in the day, and
Oh,
it's
like an
perfect
old,
for a studio. But I
yeah.
moved recently, and there's still boxes in it.
I end up in coal bunkers quite a lot because one of my main forms of income is I do property clearance, so we have to go into
Oh,
like
nice.
deceased people's houses and stuff like that. So I end up down quite a few coal bunkers and weird stuff like that. But yeah, and we had an old Anderson shelter once. She was a doctor of botany, was the woman. And I'm not
Wow.
joking. There must have been 10,000 plastic flower pots. Just they are Anderson shelters, the old air raid
Yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah. My aunt
Yeah,
had an Anderson shelter in her
yeah. It was an
garden.
Anderson shelter in the back of the garden, like at the end of a yard. And it was just we opened it, and it just boom, these plant pots just fell out. It was like that episode of The Clangers I watched as a kid, where that machine just keeps making stuff, and it's like flooding. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, we've got clean versions of everything purely for the just the expedient use and the convenience of people like yourself. And
Yes.
I will do so on every future release. And it's really funny because like I was talking about the next Inheritor song being cursed, the cursed single. There's a video somewhere of me tracking. I went in because usually I'll track all the clean vocals for everything because you've heard my music. I'm here, there, and everywhere vocally. I
Yeah.
do all sorts of random stuff. So I'll go in and track all the clean vocals, like all the singing first, um, and then I'm free to just let rip with the harsh vocals and the screaming. Um, Although recently I've been shocked because I've obviously been doing this for a few years now. I'm starting to learn my craft a little bit. With the demoralized stuff, I've been singing a few lines or singing the chorus, starting the screaming, and then going, do you know what? Now I've been screaming, my voice feels stronger, so I'll go back and re-record the chorus. But
Yeah. Of
yeah, it's just one of
course.
those things. It's just different performances on different days. But anyway, I digress as usual. There's this video of me tracking the clean vocals for the next Inheritor song, which has since been scrapped. I just treated it as a glorified demo. But I'm in this big studio in Manchester because we were down there doing it, and there was a cinema room. It's a bit of a weird. It's a bit Salvador Dali or Mighty Boosh, really, the entire kind of sketch, I suppose.
Yeah.
And there's me stood singing vocals, and I've got like something about remember to sing a clean version as well on my hands. And there was a big cinema there, and I had this film called I'm going to say it very, very clearly because a lot of people are like, what? Because they can't understand when I say it. I had this film called Begotten, as I say. I had this art film from the 90s, well, 1989 called Begotten on, which is it's literally just like a 70-minute black metal video. It's just a
Wow.
weird film, but I like it. So I just, because there was a cinema there, and I said to the producer, went, does that work? He was like, yeah, yeah, and he's into weird films as well. So I was like, let's put Begotten on, so just a bit of ambience in the background, a bit of atmosphere. So there's me with all this writing on my hand, like singing into a microphone with this art film on behind me. And I just like remember to write to sing a clean version because the next Inheritor song, oh, it's gonna need it on some points. And I don't
Oh, I
really,
can't wait.
I don't overlace my lyrics with profanity. I speak with a lot of profanity in my day to day life, but I'll only ever put like an F bomb in where I think it fits.
Yeah.
Like when I remember when I was writing the lyrics of 13 Feet Beneath, I was gutted that the F word rhymed with luck because I wanted to put something other than luck. But obviously, when I write lyrics, it's like doing a puzzle. In terms of
Hmm.
melody and words, you kind of match things up, move things around, go away, scream at everything, come back an hour later and finish it. Yeah, originally, and I love the line now. It works perfectly, and it's kind of edgy, but not it's not unclassy. Like it still flows poetically and lyrically. But I was like, oh, I've got to put an F word there now. It's what works. Yeah, try not to put them in too much. With a song like Death Spiral, like ours, or certain like darker parts of Waste of Time, Borrowed Pain, I feel like it drives home the meaning a lot more, and you kind of get that punch with it, like a bit of a gut punch when you try to, get something like display something that's authentic.
Hmm.
Um, and especially with my lyrics, I do tend to get a little bit magniloquent, which is the most ironic word ever. Google it, everybody.
I've never heard
Uh,
that word again. What did you call it?
magniloquent. It basically means
Magniloquent.
using like bombastic and high flown language, or using like superfluous terminology where it's not needed. Basically, being sesquipedalian, which all these words, it's so ironic because they're the most arsehole words you can use to describe somebody who's speaking in an arsehole way. I like
Yes.
words. I've always liked words. I like books. I like words, and I channel it into music. Leave me alone. But yeah, because I do so much of that kind of highbrow stuff for my lyrics, and I try and be kind of, I get my literature in there as well as like my general fascination with just everything that exists.
Hmm.
Curiosity, I suppose. I tried to make it a little bit intellectual, but I kind of ground it a little bit with the human aspect. So maybe the F bomb, showing the like juxtaposing those works, F bomb, F bomb, F bomb, C word, and then you've got the lyrics from Reptilian, which are like, what did I write? Idiosyncratic is this simian sapience, and what was the other one? Ascertain the affluence, occupy the opulence, a stagnant metamorphosis of ephemeral architects. Tell me another new metalcore song that can do that. I'll wait. But yes, basically,
No.
I will be censoring the upcoming songs, especially the next Inherit one. So watch out for that.
Yeah, it seems to be something that a lot of bands forget about is the clean copies, and of
It is
course, radio
overlooked.
stations do need clean copies.
Yeah,
I'm in quite a good position where I taught myself how to edit,
yeah,
and editing this new song that I got last night that I edited down. I edited it 7 different times because I was not happy with it. I
yeah,
must have listened to the song about 100 times, but I still like the song, so it shows you
yeah.
it's a good song.
Well, the
And
thing
there
is,
wasn't too much swearing, but I learned a new trick.
right.
So it was all worth it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's how you sharpen
It's
your
all
skills, isn't
learning
it?
things, isn't it?
Trial and as they told us when we were doing our GCSEs in maths papers, it's not trial and error anymore. It's trial and improvement, which is weird because in a lot of physics and mathematical based papers and that it's actually the error that matters because that's when you go back. But anyway,
Yeah.
vocab guidelines, it's the error that matters. Like getting the thing wrong is where you learn from. It's not trial and improvement because anyway, that's just me, you know splitting hairs for no reason. Not like
Yeah.
me at all. If people are watching this going, really, Ty, you making a non-existent mountain out of a non-existent molehill. Um, but yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of interesting ways to edit them as well these days. Like you can hear all sorts of things. And like I think in the new Inheritor one, there's a couple of expletives where I'll just replace the lyric with something that sounds similar that works completely in the context. Or
Yeah, that's a great
it,
way to do it.
yeah,
That way
exactly.
nobody
It's like
notices the chunk missing.
I'm just gonna do a little teaser now. There's a word that recurs quite a few times, and it's a word that you go, "Whoa!" if you hear it once, and I can replace it perfectly with the word "sun." So I'll be doing that on the clean versions, and
Right.
maybe at gigs, given seeing I'll just get a read
Gigs
of the
is a bit
room.
more freedom because people kind of it's live and it's kind of nobody cares about censorship in clubs and in
Yeah.
gigs. You want that raw
I'm
energy.
I might draw it back a bit if we're playing this new song at a wedding like we were the other week.
Well, yeah, yeah, maybe for some older ladies and
Read
gentlemen in the
Yeah,
crowd.
well, if to be honest, if I'm stood above everybody else in the room and I've got a bird's eye view and I'm not reading the room, I feel like it's a bit of an abuse of power. But yeah, no, that's censorship anyway. That's either we bleat it out or we replace it with something. Or I think in there's a really cool one in Death Spiral actually where it goes like "Pop, pop, pop, pop," like almost like a DJ thing, and I didn't think it'd work because
Right.
Death Spiral's such a such a truculent and just aggressive song, but it actually flows okay. So, and
Brilliant.
maybe it does add a little bit of levity when you hear something like that. It's like, oh, okay, and it kind of gives it that not taking yourself too seriously aspect.
Hmm. So, what's the ultimate goal? If you could choose anywhere to play in the whole entire world, where would be your favorite place that you would want to play that you've not already played?
Oh well, the list of want to and not already is definitely incommensurate with the one I've already done. I always say like if I never did anything again, I'd be somewhat satisfied. It's like, well, at least I got to do that. I'm not sure if that's like complacency or lack of ambition. I think that's more just taking stock of what I've done and been grateful for it and been realistic with it.
I
Like a
would
lot of
go with
people,
that
yeah, like a lot of
because
people can't even get to this far, kind of thing.
I sing as a hobby, and I
All
applied
right,
for a TV show and
yeah,
haven't gone through to the next round, so I can talk about it. Um, And what I'd said to them is, I don't really care if I never make it as a singer. It's about fun for me.
yeah,
And having one song on TV would be enough for me to say, I've
yeah,
done this. It's part of, because I'm always striving for other things.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but I just do the singing as a hobby at karaoke and stuff. But I'd like
Yeah,
to,
I've noticed you're quite frequent at the karaoke's, aren't you? I've noticed
I
that.
am quite prolific at the local karaoke. We have
That's
a
a good
really
word
good scene
actually.
in Montrose, actually. We're very lucky that we've got quite a good scene. There's my friends own Gaslight Productions, and they usually put a metal punk night on each month, and it's great. It's great. The
That's
music in
brilliant.
Montrose is great. We do have a little bit of a problem with cover bands, um,
I think
but
everywhere's got a problem with cover bands,
I think that's the pubs not wanting to take the risk at bands
like
that,
original
whereas
artists.
my local's great, and they do take a risk. They do put on new bands, and my friends own a production company, and they get bands in every month, and it's great. And I go and interview people and take loads of videos and put them on.
Yeah,
I have about 100 videos waiting to go up on YouTube and
that.
Instagram, and
Honestly, it's such a an overlooked thing that is. I mean, I know everybody's trying to get exposed on TikTok. Well, exposed on TikTok. Everyone's trying
mm,
to get exposure on TikTok and stuff these days. But just going back to like that early 2000s thing when mobile phones first come out, you got your camera and that, you're there like videoing. I don't know, some famous band in like the back room of a pub kind of thing. It's again, it's kind of I romanticize things like that because you don't really see it as much anymore. But like like you said, people like yourself going out seeing an original band, taking a risk, taking a gamble. I
yeah,
feel like a lot of venues in the cities are a little bit reticent and reluctant to do that these days. But again,
they seem to be. I think
yeah,
since
I,
COVID, people are a
yeah.
bit scared,
I mean,
scared
I
to
don't want to
take a
like,
chance.
I don't want to be like, throw that out and just say that's totally it because again, it's just hit and miss. Some people do, some people don't. It's just how you read it on the day, kind of thing. But I've definitely seen more of that. But yeah, in terms of what I'd like to play, I mean, obviously playing somewhere like Download would be the dream or Bloodstock. One like the festivals I used to watch on YouTube as a
Hmm.
kid growing up. But I'm really into traveling. Um, and I used to kind of just before COVID, I'd be going on like 40 planes a year and stupid stuff, just like on a whim. I'd just be like, right, come on, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't have any hobbies. I've got a bit of spare money. I'm going to go on holiday. So
Yeah,
so yeah, do that. So there's a lot of places I've been abroad where I've really loved. Like I can't actually remember the name of the venue now. Um, but me and my girlfriend Katie went to Paris last May,
Mm-hmm.
And we went to see a band I absolutely love called Cyclone 9, who are like an industrial metal band, a little bit black
Right, yeah,
metal.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Like the singer Nero's got this like razor sharp, like yeah voice, and it's like over really insane, like industrial and techno stuff.
Yeah.
So we went out there, and it was the old red light district opposite a chapel next to the Moulin Rouge. And it was just like this back, I think it was called the back rooms or something, but just like weird places like that in Europe, like somewhere, something that's like out of a Blade film or like what you'd
Mm-hmm.
see in just these random venues. But ever since watching Parkway Drive's DVD "Home Is for the Heartless" years ago, it was kind of as I was getting into new music when I was like 18, 19. I had like this revitalized love for like getting into new bands. And I was on a big Parkway Drive binge at the time, and then I saw the video they'd just done for Home Is for the Heartless, where they just literally go around the world, like they book random gigs, like they play in Moscow, then the next day they're in Spain, then they're playing in India in this amphitheater where there's a hole in the floor, and there's all these Indian kids just coming in, like they've travelled like 5 hours by train to come see
Wow.
this metal band from Australia, and they're playing places like Guatemala where there's like armed guards everywhere, and like traveling through Venezuela to get to a gig like in South America somewhere. So I am honestly just it's the ADHD thing again, Kim. There's that many possibilities I can't put my finger on, but I'll play anywhere, anytime, to anyone, but just make it
I'll
somewhat
remember that.
interesting. Yeah,
But
just
will you play cheap?
probably. I'm not going to say no. I don't know. I'm not too
We've got
bothered.
about 5 minutes again, so
That's
um
fine. Is there anything else you want to ask or anything before we wrap
I
up?
I think I've asked everything I possibly can. Is there anything that you want to say?
Yeah, do you know what, actually? Just before COVID, well, it was 2 days before the UK went into lockdown, so little anecdote time again. Um, I ended up flying out to Ukraine. I ended up going to doing a tour of Pripyat and Chernobyl, like the entire area
Mm-hmm.
around it. It's like it's insane. It's like an area like
Wow.
probably bigger. It's like an area the size of West Yorkshire's just derelict and gone. And
Derelict.
it's
Wow.
not just the
I've
city
seen
either.
the
It's like
videos and stuff. I'd
yeah, it's
love to
insane.
go.
It's not even the city though. It's like there's villages and towns on the outskirts. There's a woodland. So yeah, I was out there. Um, it's just I think the US had killed like an Iranian leader or something. So there was like tension with like Russia, Iran, Syria, and the US, and obviously we were getting involved. It's when everyone thought World War III was going to happen in at the beginning of 2020. So
Right.
that was happening. It was Friday the 13th. COVID had just started up, and I'm going to the site of arguably the world's worst nuclear disaster. I would have liked to have got a gig in somewhere like that, just like done a gig in Ukraine somewhere, or like these
Yeah.
random locations I go to. Like I ended up in Costa Rica, and like when I was I think I was 20, and I'm like literally wrestling caimans and stuff and crawling through bat caves, and the entire time I'm looking on the beachfront as like these little chalets and little bars, and I'm like, imagine well, wasn't an inheritor at the time, but I'm like, imagine playing a gig there. So I want to go back to like these really cool places I've been around the world, and because I've got friends there now. This is the thing. There's like
Yeah.
there's guys in the mountains in Algeria who I'm like friends with on Facebook, and then there's people I've met in like South America and stuff. So I want to go there, do a return visit, and take the music there so they can see what it is this weird English guy that they met does in his free time. Something like that. I don't know. I just made the answer up on the spot. I'm just thinking about it now, and it would be pretty interesting.
That sounds great. Record it when you do it so that I can see it.
100%. I'd love to
Get
play
it
overseas.
on
I'd love to play
YouTube.
overseas. Anywhere overseas because I love travel and exploring the world, and I love playing music. So bringing them two together is a dream come true.
That sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Ty.
It's
This
quite
has
all right.
been
Thank you, Kim.
absolutely wonderful. I'll get this edited and I won't play it next week because you're away to download. Um,
Download.
I know I'm not jealous at all.
I'm gonna be
Like
there. I'm gonna be
this,
there. Just like don't mind me. I'll just be crying watching Bullet for My Valentine for like the 30th time in my life. But
yeah,
boys got to have a hobby.
that's it. But thank you so much.
No, thank you, thank you.
I'm gonna this will be going on YouTube as a complete video because I don't care about the swearing on YouTube.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not
It's a
monetized on
it's a
YouTube
it's a
anyway, so
podcast. It's not an interview now. It's a podcast. We've done a podcast. It's long form.
There's the podcast as well. The long form will go on the podcast
There we go.
as well,
Brilliant.
but I'll edit it down to about 20 minutes or something for the
Cool.
radio. We'll pick out
Yeah.
the best bits.
The highlights and the hits. Well,
Mm.
that's where I respect you people because you can always. It's like my producer. I admire that guy so much. Sit and edit and go through things. I don't have that form of ADHD. I don't have the hyper focus stuff. I'm just like
Do
I
you
see it and
know?
I see it. I go nope like that, and I just run away.
That's when you need to send it to me and I'll do it for you.
There we go. There we go. Right, Sound Kim. Thank you very much. Enjoyed
Thank you
that.
very much. Yes, it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And just give me a shout anytime you've got new stuff or you
Yeah,
want to
brilliant,
chat. I'm always
brilliant.
around. I have no life other than karaoke and radio, so
It sounds all right to me. That's going to be me when I finally have enough of having 800 hobbies.
yeah. Right, thank you
But
so
yeah,
much, Ty.
no, thank you. Like I say, next Crown Tye demoralizing inheritor stuff, I'll send it your way. And the
Yep.
rest of the guys would like to do it if you want to do a follow up interview at any point, but like as
Oh,
a
it'd
full
be
band.
amazing.
Yeah, and I
That
will.
would be
I've just
great.
said to Annie, funnily enough, if we do any like when we're doing like the post album stuff with Demoralize or the post single stuff, I'm going to make a challenge to try and shut up for as much as I can. Even let the other lads speak because I've got a fog on of a voice and it never stops going. So, but yeah,
Good luck
thank you
with
so
that.
much, Kim. Been looking forward to this.
Thank
So
you
yeah,
so
thanks for
much.
sorting it
Right.
out.
I'll catch you on Instagram.
Yeah, you will. You will. I'll be
Right.
annoying you.
And
I'll
I
be
look
annoying you as
forward to seeing
usual.
more stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, Kim. See you in a bit.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. I don't know how to end it.
Bye.
I'm just going to keep waving because I don't know how to end it. Oh, it's there.